creamer as my creamer.
Josie's business advice. Find out what type of caffeine works for you.
Right?
Welcome to the Summit Chasers podcast. This is how we do intros around here. I am here with the owner of Cobalt Turtle Media.
Cobalt Media Marketing.
Cobalt Media, fuck.
Here we go.
Podcast. I'm here with the...
Money, making crap for money, money, and
Cobalt Media Marketing. I got so stuck on the turtle piece because I wanted to know where the turtle piece came from.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Talk a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, no,
first.
everybody has definitely asked me that quite a bit the last month. Like, where's the turtle coming from? And to be honest with you, it has more to do with the fact that, like, I didn't know what I was doing when I opened my business.
None of us
And
do. It's
yeah,
fine.
like, so I was like, oh, I like turtles and I like the color blue. So I'm going to try to get creative. And Cobalt Turtle Media is where it landed. And then I switched it to Cobalt Media Marketing to get rid of the turtle because people started thinking it was slow.
Oh, those little things that we don't think about when we're starting.
No.
It's like, what is everybody else going to perceive this as? Like, I like turtles and I like the color blue. And then everyone else is like, so you're slow.
Well, and it's really funny because I'm in marketing, everybody knows the psychology of colors and everything, and the psychology behind animals and shapes. I didn't care about that when I was opening my business. I was preaching it, but I didn't take my own advice.
There's a lot of that too when we first get started.
Absolutely.
So, what is your company? I don't want to butcher the name again. So
No, yeah. So Cobalt Media Marketing, we're a local social media marketing agency. Right now, we're strictly organic, but we're talking about doing paid ads, also adding like lead gen, website, SEO. But for what we do right now, the bread and butter is social media, content creation, content strategy, and then account management. And then we also offer email marketing, but that's
and it's specifically the content piece. You're very good at it. I've worked with plenty of content people, and obviously I've done content for a long time. I don't like it, but I've done it for a long time.
yeah.
You're particularly good at it. What
Thank
makes you
you.
good at it?
I don't approach it with that very like cut, dry approach where it's like, very basic. I don't like overly produced content. Most of my clients don't like overly produced content. Typically what happens too is engagement goes down when it looks too fancy. So I focus on more of like your trending, your funny stuff, because it really depends on like your funnel. So you have your top of funnel, which is your trending audios, your funny skits, all of that. And that's your brand awareness. And then you have your middle funnel where you're educating the people that did come in, and then your bottom where you're trying to get people to convert, and that's where your lead gen happens. And so when you're missing that piece of content, that trending, that funny, that B-roll, there's a whole thing about B-roll. People are like, you shouldn't use B-roll. Well, I don't believe in that. So there's a whole circle of content that people tend to miss, and so they're just posting random stuff.
Well, I think you hit a good point on that. I think a lot of just, if they're just content marketers or even in agencies, even that they kind of mess this part up. And then also just internal teams and businesses, they miss the part is that it all has to work together, like an omni-channel approach. And what you just mentioned was it depends on the funnel. It depends on where you're trying to lead people.
Yep.
And we were out for coffee a few days ago, and there was a company, were they HVAC that we were looking at? They were kind of a case study we were looking at.
Yep.
An HVAC company, and you go to their Instagram page, I think it was Instagram,
Yep.
and it looked like the most outdated like portfolio thing. Like it was like an outdated, or those like poster cards you hand out, like you get them they used to put them on your front door.
Yep.
You get them and they just look like that's outdated. And that's what it was, so clean, too professional. It just looked like an ad the
Yep.
whole time. And they only had like 9 followers.
Yeah, that was absolutely crazy to me. For a company who's spending a lot of money on their marketing. I mean, content marketing, content production, like management, strategy, that's not a cheap service. That's, your long haul. You're expecting a long-term game. And so for me to see an account that has no engagement, has been open for 30 days, even if it's a brand new account and you only have 9 followers and your content looks nice and is clean, but nobody's even engaging, I can immediately tell when account's not being managed, when the content is overly produced and nobody's engaging with it. Like it, to me, it looks nice and clients like that.
Yeah.
But it's also my job and the marketing agency that they're working with's job to educate on the type of content and the right kind of content to attract your target audience. With everything being so AI focused and, ads and sales and everything, people like that more realistic touch. And that typically ends up being your iPhone content, your silly, funny stuff, myths in the industry, like poking fun at like solid topics rather than just being so overly produced. I totally went like...
No, that's great. No, that's why you're here, to go on tangents that I don't want to go on. So that's again, a huge point. It goes back to just understanding what is the outcome you're trying to create with your content. Because you can look, and like the point isn't always to go viral.
Yeah.
That's not always the point. Like there's different types of content too you'll have on your pages. There's like the hook content, which brings in the views, helps you go viral-ish, whatever. And again, that the definition of going viral is different for kind of every industry and sort of the focus. You can get an account or a business, they get 500 likes on a post, and that's like going viral because they're so niche. Right? They're attracting very specific types of demographic. But it's just really understanding, okay, what is the purpose of this? How does it fit into my omni-channel approach? And then create the plan. So let's break it down, because there's like a lot of business owners, they'll hear managing the page. And they're like, what, you're posting it 5 times a week? Isn't that managing the page? So what do you, and that's something that a lot are missing too. Like even a lot of agencies are missing too, is actually managing the page. You can't just post it and then, all right, we'll wait till tomorrow until it runs an auto posting at 9 a.m. and then hopefully it does something. So what do you mean? We'll start that. Like, what do you mean by managing the page? And then we'll kind of start from the top of like where people should start.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So how my agency approaches things is very different than larger marketing agencies out there. And this time could maybe even like get me in trouble. But larger marketing agencies, they'll typically, schedule all your content out. You have your approval, they schedule it out, and then they don't touch your page. Or maybe they have somebody internally like checking it once every now and then. And your bread and butter, like 90%, well, like 70% of it is the community engagement that you're putting into the account. Your content can be phenomenal, but if you're not engaging, then you're not going to go anywhere. Or you could have really crappy content, but you have the best community management, and your account will do 10 times better than somebody who has fantastic content. So management-wise, it's a big key piece that most business owners and just, again, agencies miss is, you have to be going out and looking for your target audience on these channels and go commenting on their stuff and being like, oh, this is something I'm seeing, like I want to help you with this, or this content looks phenomenal. Or maybe you're just asking them a question and trying to get to know them. It doesn't have to be anything crazy. You just don't want to leave like random emojis, because the algorithm and everything will tell if you're not being authentic. Because if you really break it down, I mean, the whole reason social media started was to connect people. And if you're not using the platforms, any of the platforms, in a way to connect with other people, then you're just using it wrong. And so, engagement, everything. Here's a great content tip. If you don't know what to post, ask your audience, post a story. Hey, what do you want to see more of? And people will literally tell you what they want to see, because 1, you're now engaging your audience. 2, everybody loves giving feedback and advice. 3, now that just gave you a ton of content ideas on how to connect with the people who are asking for that content.
And looking at successful accounts in adjacent industries, like even for something as seemingly boring as an HVAC company, they could look at some of these. I think we went through that guy's, I forget the name of his account, but he has like a really funny hook, and then he pitches his signs.
Yep.
And he has millions. Yeah, the producer, Andrew, in the back there, he knows exactly.
Yep.
He's running through his head right now. He's laughing. But he's genius at that. So that type of strategy, like an HVAC company could look at that and use that and use that for kind of a template for themselves. Also, correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like a lot of people overcomplicate and overthink the algorithm
Yes.
piece of things.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's changing every day. It literally changes every day on every single platform. Your big changes when a marketing agency is like, oh my gosh, the algorithm's changing, they're using that as an excuse for crappy content and not delivering results. So it's changing every single day. What's changing that you're seeing is maybe seasonal changes. So it's the summertime. People aren't on social media as much. They're on vacation. They're outside. Or it's Christmas time. They're with their families. Sundays, typically people just aren't on their phones. So it'll come and go with that. Plus buyer personas. I mean, that changes all the time too. There's, if the overall economy is not doing great, then of course people aren't going to be buying as much. And so that's something to also consider when you're developing your strategy. The other thing I was going to say too that you kind of touched on is going viral looks different for everybody. I don't always recommend focusing on going viral because you could go viral, get millions and millions of views, but if you don't have a strategy on how to get those people to convert, then you're just going viral and you're getting views and it's not helping your business.
We can almost hurt it sometimes.
Yes.
You can go viral for the completely wrong reasons. You get 10,000 more followers. 9,980 of them are the wrong people. So now your content's being pushed out to the wrong people. Looks cool.
And then those people will start to unfollow you. So you're like, great, you hit millions of views and yay, that's amazing. But then those people will unfollow you. Your account will start to kind of dwindle down again. The other side of it too is, let's say it goes viral for the right reasons. You're a product-based business and you sell out of all of your products. Well, most small businesses will be like, oh my gosh, I need to go buy a ton of inventory because if I'm going viral, I need to just spend a ton of money. I just made all this money, but then they lose all of that money, rebuying the product, and then they're no longer going viral, and then they're either worse off than when they went viral or in the same place.
Well, that's a good point of like everything has to work together.
Yep.
Right. Like if you do go viral, it's not that you do want to set your business up in a way where it could handle sudden
absolutely.
increases of volume, also sudden decreases in volume. However, a lot of them don't do that. There's a great example of that. And it was a very simple business. It was like somebody who started it out of their like garage or something like that. And it was like where they put the crystals or whatever on their face. It was like the sticker things. And I can't remember if it was Taylor Swift or somebody like that was using it. And she just happened to have a video of her wearing it. And a bunch of people figured out that it came from this particular producer, manufacturer, again, which was a very small business. All of a sudden she went viral and she was like, I can't do this. This is absolutely crazy. She was, obviously she sold out very, very quickly. And then she had to hire people, get a bigger space. Cause I think it was either out of a small warehouse or out of her garage or something like that. And she quickly had to invest all this into growing it. So it'd be interesting to get that case study of like where she is now. So she invested in this virality, assuming that that's the norm. And there's tons of case studies of that, like particular businesses during COVID, when people got the influx of the stimulus checks, their purchase patterns changed. So a lot of businesses adjusted their systems to that new volume and their new expectations to that volume. And a lot of them they didn't have to, they shouldn't have, but they did. They took their feet off the pedal for like marketing and sales efforts, put it into product development and fulfillment on the back end, which they should have, but then buying patterns changed. The virality went away. All of a sudden their business is not set up for the more realistic economic structure. So I love that point.
Well, something to also, I lost it, but think about it like this. The people, it's like winning the lottery. There's so many studies on people who win the lottery and everything, and 9 times out of 10, they go broke. Within like how many years? 3 years or something, like a year, 3 years.
It's not very long.
Yeah, they go buy a new house. They go buy cars. They do all these things. It's almost a similar concept, and that's why I am all about a structured long-term approach. It's almost like losing weight. If you lose weight too fast, then you're going to have extra saggy skin. It's not going to look right. So, you want like slow long-term results because now you're reputable. You've been around for however many years. And two, like, you know, if your product's good, your service is good, you know, that is why social media is a long-term game, essentially.
No, it is. It's not a get rich now.
Oh, yeah. And some people
thing.
can. I mean, you know, you go viral, you sell out a product, great. You know, but then there's a lot of people who are like, oh, I just made my first 10K on social media. Well, how much did you spend on ads? Like, how much did you spend on getting that content? Did you actually profit that 10K? And that's where guru advice, I don't believe any of it.
I don't believe a lot of it, but this one, believe. This guru advice, believe. It's that unicorn effect. Like, people will look at, and especially for entrepreneurs, they'll read the PayPal mafia, or they'll read about Jobs or any of these other super successful entrepreneurs, and they're like, just do that and you'll be fine. But they don't see the graveyard of 10,000 unsuccessful stories that tried to do similar things.
Yep.
So they look at these people and they're like, well, just do that. Just go viral. And they look at, like, for social media, they look at like whoever they follow, whoever they respect that has the 100,000 million followers, and they're like, well, just get there. But they don't see the years beforehand. And then they also don't see, again, the thousands of people that tried to do that.
Yep.
That failed and are working at Starbucks now.
Yep. And I think that's really, like, super important too, because we were talking about, real quick, is this in the camera shot? Should I move this?
Yeah, we're not sponsored by either of
I know,
those. Get them out of here.
I'm like, I just realized.
You can leave Alani up there. That's fine. Not Celsius, though. There you go.
Just change. We won't put the logo in.
Katie Hearn, please sponsor the podcast.
Right. Oh yeah. Okay. So that's kind of why, we were talking about, like, contracts being 6 months minimum. A lot of, like, business owners too will think that, social media will take off in 30 days or 60 days or 90 days, or and not even just social media, your entire marketing funnel, like your ads, your website, SEO, all of it should immediately be happening within 90 days. And that's not the case. It's never, ever going to be the case. Sure, you get lucky once or twice, maybe here and there, but a long-term strategy, I mean, you should be looking at, like, 6 months to even 3 years. Because you look at the big gurus, you look at the thought leaders in the industry, and they've been around for decades. Their
Very long
accounts
time.
have been around for decades. They're using personal branding to promote their businesses. They're using other businesses that they've brought in to collaborate with other businesses that they own. So it's not just omnipresence on how many platforms they have. It's omnipresence on how many businesses and eyeballs are they collaborating with and bringing on. And so when you're looking at something as simple as opening up a brand new social media account and expecting results in 30 days of posting, like, you have to be crazy.
or just throw a lot of money at it.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
Yeah.
you could do that, yeah, and then spend, $20,000-$30,000 on ads, and sure, it would go
Well, and
phenomenally.
that, and then influencers as well, getting
Yeah.
people in adjacent industries to start sharing your stuff and
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So but for the most part, people get into it, business owners get into it because, like, oh, it's cheaper than spending $10,000 a month on ads.
Yeah.
But so I'm just gonna do this, and then I'll be successful
Yeah.
somehow.
No.
Which, again, you can get lucky, but again, we're going back to that unicorn thing. So walk us through, because one thing I love about your approach is, like, again, it's a more holistic approach. It's not, here's a framework that's worked for these unicorns, let's just replicate that. It's like, here's what's going to work for you. It's kind of how you create the framework, and that's kind of how we do a lot of our courses and stuff, and how we work with business owners. We're not going to necessarily give you a framework that worked for this individual, but let's figure out how you can create your framework that's going to work for you,
Yep.
and then create that process. So where do you start? Let's start from the beginning. You have a lawyer or an HVAC company or whatever, a realtor, whatever it is. Where do they start first? They have no presence right now. They have like a personal Instagram, a personal TikTok or whatever, and they have a couple hundred followers. Most of them are like friends and
Yep.
whatever. Where do they start?
So it does depend on the industry and your target audience. So if you're a realtor trying to prospect first-time home buyers, that's a very different story than a luxury real estate agent, and, like, your channels would look different, everything. And so it depends on really the business owner, the company, their business goals, their marketing goals, and then who their target audience is. And so every single one of my clients have a very different approach. I have one lawyer who's a single firm. She's by herself and she's absolutely crushing it in content because she's showing herself personally and what it's like to work with her. And then I have another one who's got a team of, I want to say like 10, 15, 20 plus, and we focus on the team because the team is who that client is going to work with. And so how I start with everybody is, one, I have an onboarding questionnaire that can take anywhere between 30 minutes to an hour, and that will give me enough information to start developing a strategy. And that strategy typically is anywhere between a 19 to 25 plus page development on client avatars, business story, brand story, client story, what those clients are interested in on content, because who you're like depending on who you're talking to, it's very different. So if you're, let's say you're that real estate agent and you're going for a first-time home buyer, well, a first-time home buyer is probably in their like 20s to 30s. And so that person is probably maybe Gen Z. That type of content should be more funny, like awareness driven. There's one real estate agent who's crushing it, and she does hide and seek in her house. Literally is crushing it. There's another girl who's just talking crap about sports the whole time, but every frame she's showing a different piece of the house, but she's not even talking about the house, and crushing it. So there's that. But then if you're going for like your luxury home buyers, that's probably people 40 plus. So that's a different style of content. So we really start with, how are we going to be attracting your specific audience, but then using your voice and the type of person you are to drive that result.
How many of your clients that you've seen, because this is something that I see a lot of business owners struggle with, is they decide that I need to start focusing on my content, getting myself out there, developing my brand, it's really a portfolio for a lot of these types of businesses. But they don't, a lot of these things that you're explaining, they don't know, or they're assuming.
Yep.
And then they go into spending a bunch of time on content and they're not even targeting the right people. They're not truly identifying what makes them unique and what makes them stand out to other options. They're just assuming because I'm funny, so I should do funny things. But your target audience is the 40 to 50.
Yep.
Not to say that you can't have a sense of humor when you're 40, 50,
Yep.
but they're spending, $1 to $10 million on a home. That exercise is fairly serious to them. So maybe in that case, the content, the funny, silly kind of content might not be better. But again, you see these virality things. You're like, oh, I should be funny.
Yeah. Where most businesses fail is they focus on what they think their audience wants to hear. If you're like, oh, like for me, for example, if I'm posting about education, my client is not going to care. They're wanting to know how I can handle that for them and take care of it. So if I'm posting all kinds of like education and everything, then like I'm targeting people who are trying to learn how to do social media, not my ideal client. So where was I going with that? I lost it.
Well, people not knowing who exactly they're targeting.
Oh, yes. Yeah. So I always start with that. I mean, you can go to Answer the Public. You can even ChatGPT it. Like, let's say you're in your 60s and you don't really know anybody who's Gen Z or anything, and your target audience is in their 20s. So you can go to ChatGPT. Go look at accounts or go look at accounts that are ran by people who are in that demographic. The other thing to consider too, I mean, your business has been open for probably anywhere between 1 to, 5+ years. You have people who are coming into your office or coming in to talk to you or asking you questions. Those questions are the ones you should be talking about. Like, and if you could even send out an email newsletter and say, hey, I'm trying to understand my demographic a little bit more. Like, would you mind taking this survey for me? Like, people they're a little bit, well, business owners are afraid of asking their current and past clients what works and what doesn't work. And that's, I mean, it's simple. In my head, it's simple. So if you stop focusing on what you want to talk about and you start focusing on what your current clients are asking or what that age group is asking of, then your content's going to be 10 times more successful than somebody who's only focusing on what they think their audience wants to hear.
Yeah, don't be afraid to go to your clients and be like, why me?
Yeah.
Why'd you pick me? Don't ask it like that. But no, you're right.
I have asked it that way. I'm like, I don't understand.
So have I. It's
yeah,
fine.
but
It's
you know
fine.
what? Like, they're real and they're honest, and then they tell me like, this is why, and I'm like, oh. So, yeah, I mean, it's an underrated tool that nobody's doing often. I mean, it goes back to posting that story. What kind of content do you want to hear or see more of? And you literally have free content ideas. You can go to answerthepublic.com and look up what people are searching in your industry, and boom, 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 boom. Frequently asked questions. You can just touch on them, and you'll be good.
Talk to the right people. That's really it.
Yes.
I mean, it really just boils down to it's not about you, it's about them. And you'd be really surprised. I've been really surprised over the years. I'll have multiple businesses, and I'm earlier on, I was really shocked as to like, okay, why? When I did ask that question, why me? Like, why did you pick? Because I was running gyms 12 years ago, and I would ask, I would do a survey, like, what made you pick us over all these other options? Because there was a ton of other options at the time. And I was really surprised at the reasons. They weren't the reasons I had in my head the whole time. And then because I didn't ask that question, I was dumping resources into those reasons that I was assuming. And it wasn't, and again, I wasn't shrinking or anything like that. So I wasn't paying attention to the right signals. I was young and stupid. So I was,
You're me.
some things have changed. Now
That's
I'm old.
where I'm at right now.
It's fine. No, trust me, you're doing a lot better than I was when I was your age.
Thank you.
But it's just very, very surprising. And if you don't know that, you just dump resources in many different aspects of your business, not just in marketing. You do it in how you're developing your product and who you're hiring, how you're setting up the feng shui of your office if you have a brick and mortar sort of thing. So no, asking those questions is super important. So they go through that process. Whether they join us for the 5-day growth sprint, and then they get really, really clear on what they need to do and how they need to differentiate. Then they go to you, they fill out your form, and okay, this is the content, this is the voice, this is the plan. Then what do they need to do?
Yeah, so from there, I come back with a shot list of items, and the shot list is your content list. And so I go in and I create the video content. I either bring in a videographer, or it's me with my iPhone, or I send that shot list to someone and say, hey, record it this way. Like, I'll give instructions on exactly how. I try not to do that too much because it is a service, or it's a hands-off service, and that's part of the reason why people like it. But that content day can be anywhere between 3 to 4 hours or so, depending on the industry and what the product is, service is. But then we'll go shoot content for 2-3 hours. Most people start out like, I hate this, I don't want to do it. But by the third content day, they're like, oh, it's actually kind of fun. I mean, you get to take 3 hours a month away from your business and just joke around about how your business is helping people. And for 3 hours, we get that content. Then I go home and I edit it and I work on it, and then I put it into an entire month plan. And so that can look like, typically I try to post anywhere between 10 to 15 videos a month, and then the rest are like either carousels or graphics, depending on the goal. And then I have my graphic designer create those graphics and everything. Then I put it into a content calendar, and then we go through the editing process, which can take anywhere between a week to maybe 2, depending on how quick I receive it. And then we go from there. So onboarding does take about 3 weeks to a month, sometimes longer, because I'm in the back end, 1, fixing your account because it's obviously broken. That's why you brought me on. 2, understanding your company, your goals, like who you are, why is your company open, and then developing a strategy, which takes anywhere between a week to possibly 2, and then content shooting, approval process, and then posting.
Sounds like a lot. for you? It
For
sounds like a
me,
lot. It
yes.
sounds like a lot. So let's break it down. So they get the shot list, which is here's the content we need you to take, how you should hold the camera, and I think that is where a lot of people get lost.
Yeah, and that's why. So I don't even try to offer that. I try to just handle it for them.
Because you work locally mostly.
Yeah, but I could fly. I mean, I literally have a
You
tattoo.
could fly me out wherever.
Seriously, I have a tattoo on my back that says travel because I don't know. I got it when I was 18. So, but yeah, I mean, I will travel out to different states. I've done it before. I went to San Francisco for a skincare brand. That one was a fun one. And so, you know, I'll fly out to get that content with you. Most of the time, I try not to even tell people how to create their content. I'll just either do it or I'll say, hey, go to a podcast studio and get 1 hour's worth of content, ask somebody to interview you, and then I'll cut it up and clip it. And then we'll have different types of content there too.
What if they don't have that option? Like, what again? The world's so small now because it's virtual, and sometimes people will hire somebody from Kentucky when they're in California.
Yeah.
Probably not, but maybe. So what was some advice? Let's say you have like, okay, I have 20 pieces of content I need to shoot this month. Do they just set up their like? Can you just set up your camera and just start talking? Like somebody who's uncomfortable in front of the camera. I guess that's what I'm asking. Like, if somebody's uncomfortable with shooting content because they're like, I don't like how I look or how I sound, or I always stumble my words and this kind of stuff. My advice to them, and it's a little bit harsher, so we're gonna do kind of like one of those, like, what is the shit sandwich?
Yep.
Piece of advice thing. So we're gonna start with the shit. Is you're gonna suck at it, and that's okay. Like, who cares?
Yep.
Like, just suck at it for a while. The rule of 100. Do it 100 times. You'll get a little bit better. Reassess. But you're like, it's gonna suck. It's a skill.
Yep.
It's like speaking, public speaking. It's like working out. It's like all those types of things. It's like you and your business. You sucked at the beginning, and you're probably a little bit better now. Probably still suck, but you're getting better. So I kind of use that kind of harsher formula.
Yeah.
But if they are uncomfortable, is there some things they can do to make it a little bit easier at the beginning?
Yeah. So it's funny you say that because part of what I do is also getting people comfortable in front of the camera. So I always start, like, your very first content shot list is probably going to be a really light one, full of like B-roll. And B-roll is like you propping your phone up and you're working on your computer. Maybe you have your phone on a tripod and you're walking by with your phone, and we can utilize that and put like copy on the screen. Then, so that it could be more like B-roll content and then kind of like that trending kind of content. But then we start with like a very small shot list on the talking videos. And then it's like, oh, that wasn't too bad. Okay, now we're going to have like 5 videos this next month where you have to be talking. Okay, well, now we're going to have 15 videos. So I kind of build up with that person depending on, you know, really how much they know about content. Because some people are like, I'm a genius, I know how to do content. Others are like, I don't even know how to work my phone. So there's a pretty big spectrum that we have to kind of work with on that. But yeah, I mean, content doesn't need to be overly complicated. It can be really simple. Podcast content's great because you have that conversational style content. Yeah, so that's kind of how I start with that, is start with something easy. Another thing too is like some companies are like, I don't want to be dancing on TikTok. You don't have to dance on TikTok. We start with like the funny ones, like the, you know, easy ones, and get you more comfortable to be on camera. But for the most part, B-roll is super underrated. Also, I mean, if it's just you and your camera, you can take as many takes as you want. Somebody else is editing it. Another great thing is go line by line. If you have a script, you know, shoot the first line. Okay, done. Shoot the second line, and we can piece it all together.
That's a trick that we did earlier. That didn't make any sense, but it will after production. But
Yeah.
that goes back to just don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
And a lot of like we compare the content that we should do to the content that we consume.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's not. Like if you're scrolling on TikTok and it is all, like, especially if you have kids or whatever. Like it's going to be the dancing on TikTok. It's going to be like these, and then there's like these pranks that you see. And then there's like the AI Sasquatch. And like, I don't want to do that kind of stuff. It's like, well, no, you don't. You don't have to do that. Like you can just, as simple as set up your camera, get to work or pretend like you're working. And then there you go.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're at an event, like a networking event, take some content while you're there. You don't have to be in it. You can be like, oh, this is an event I was at, or if you're sponsoring an event, or you're partnered with a nonprofit that you want to help promote. There's so many different routes you can take with it. But yeah, B-roll is super underrated. There's an account too. I want to say her name's Kathy. And she helps women who have gone through menopause. And it's her entire account is B-roll. And she has like 150,000 followers. And all B-roll. There's no talking video whatsoever.
Wow.
Yeah, like, so it doesn't, you don't always have to be talking. It
Goes
depends
back. You don't need to be. Today, we have a business owner who hates doing content. We're going to challenge the great Josie to get this person to love to do content, create a plan on how to do content, not overcomplicate the shit out of it. Adrena.
Woo!
Thank you, Josie.
Don't particularly like doing content, even though you're good at it.
I hate it.
You think you're not good at it, but you're really good at it.
I don't think I'm
especially
really good
when
at
you're
it.
natural, when you're just being yourself.
I can have a conversation, sure.
You're very good, like swearing by it, like your podcast. You're very good on it. Have you seen it yet? It's great.
That's fine.
No, it's a prerequisite. I'm just kidding, but you don't have to. You should watch it. It's a great podcast. But when you're natural and you're just being you, it's very, very good. But you struggle.
I don't like content. I don't like.
Yeah.
Wait, here's my problem. My life is not cute. And I feel like I did catch the tail end of what you guys were saying, where like the content that I consume, I think is part of what I'm like, I wish I could make content like that. But as much as I want to be the aesthetic girly, that's not me. Like my real day to day, right? But that's the content that I love. Like that is the content that I'm drawn to. And I feel like I don't know how to show up online in a way that is me. Like what is that personal brand piece? And then also that's not convoluted, because I have like multiple businesses, multiple projects. There's a podcast, there's like me and the lifestyle piece, and then there's a few different businesses. So it's like, how do I show up online and make it make sense is a big part of my problem. And I love the aesthetic girly, and I want to be that girl. And I don't know how to do it in a way that's me.
I struggle with that too. Like I mean, my house is not like the fancy white walls with the nice flooring and everything. But how I've gotten away with that is go to a nice coffee shop, work on your computer. The other piece of it is like most of the time when it's not that aesthetic is when people are like, oh, this is raw, this is good.
Yeah.
What you consume is not what your ideal client's going to assume.
Fair.
It's probably going to be a lot different. And so when you focus more on them, for one, your results are going to do so much better. But, showcase who you are. If you're using a personal brand to develop all of these businesses and you're utilizing you as a person to get these companies to seem more likable, then just be you.
Yeah.
Be silly.
How do you do that?
You can
And not be awkward. Like I feel like once the camera switches on, it's like, especially if I can't do scripted. We found that out very quickly. Literally 2 days ago. I was like, I turn into like a robot person and all of the personality goes out of my being. So the scripted thing doesn't work, but like,
okay, well, so
tell me.
what is a hobby you really like? You were talking about walking dogs
Yeah,
earlier.
being out with the dogs. I just recently discovered, I've talked about this like 3 times on Swearing By It, painting pottery.
Yeah.
I think that might be a new thing that I absolutely love to do. Working out, big fan of working out, and buying all the cute clothes too.
Okay. Yeah. So then, I mean, you can literally have B-roll of you painting pottery and a voiceover of you just talking about something completely different than what the pottery is. So let's say you're coaching somebody and you're like, this is advice I want to give my student or whatever. You're painting pottery. You could literally set up there's these Amazon things where you can, it's like this and you clip your phone to it
I've
and
seen
it'll,
those.
yeah, it's so cool. I want one. Where it'll record you and like you're just doing like la-di-da, whatever. And then once that's done, go do a voiceover over the video of like 10 to like, let's say like 3 different things that are myths in the industry. I mean, that's just
Okay.
a low-hanging fruit, easy one. And now you're not even really having to do anything but do what you like and talk about the things that you want to sell.
I love that.
And then, you know, let's say you're at the gym. You could set it up to where you have a girlfriend you're going to the gym with. And, okay.
Not a girlfriend, but yeah.
I'm the girlfriend. Like, always switch the camera to me too. I'm the
Hey,
girlfriend.
Gym bro. No.
So were you literally like, you're working out, you walk up to him and you say, hey, what is one thing that most people forget about in XYZ? I love that. And then he's answering
I love
it.
that idea.
And you're just showing face. And you don't even have to really be in it. You're just asking somebody else and then they're creating the video.
Cool.
So
Those are good tips.
there's that. One thing that I've been doing is my stories are filled with my like day-to-day life. I'm going on a walk and I'm like, it's a really ugly picture. I think I posted it yesterday. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'm doing community management on my walk.
I think I saw that.
Yeah, like it's, but the amount of engagement I got, and it was like a hideous picture of me. I did not like it, but I didn't.
It wasn't hideous
Oh,
for the
thank
record.
you. I didn't, but I just didn't care enough to really make it look perfect and aesthetic. And what happens is most people like that because that's you.
Yeah, right. Definitely food for thought. That's super helpful. I love the idea of like
Interviewing
interviewing
people.
other people, but then it still gets me doing something for sure, 'cause that's a problem. The other thing, I was actually just on TikTok while I was waiting for my time, and I saw a post that was basically saying like it was a social media management company, funny enough, and they were like 10 things we'd tell you if we weren't afraid to hurt your feelings, and one of them was you don't need a personal brand. Like not everybody needs a personal brand. How do you determine, like if a client comes to you, talk about me, for example, if you want to, I won't get my feelings hurt. Like how do you decide who actually does need a personal brand versus who doesn't?
So, yeah, that's a great question. Because you have multiple businesses that you're utilizing your personality for, you definitely need a personal brand, 110%. A company like mine where I don't have any other employees showing face, I need a personal brand because that's now like 2 different presences that are streamlining back into your business
Right.
or into multiple businesses. If you're a company that has 15, 20, 30 plus employees, then they probably don't need a personal brand.
Okay.
Like the business owner
The business
themselves.
yeah.
Only because you now have an entire team of people who can be on that content for you, and that content's built around your employees because those are the people you're working with. If all of your businesses revolve around you right now, then you know people buy from people,
Yeah.
and so. I mean, even your personal brand doesn't have to be anything related to business at all. It could be, pottery. People love watching those
Yeah.
aesthetic ASMR videos.
So good.
I think ASMR, I have a love-hate relationship with it. But if you're having like a voiceover and you're talking about and it's a visual kind of ASMR thing, then it would crush it. And you wouldn't even have to show face for that. Everybody loves seeing the business owner, though. Especially if you're the one in the community connecting with people, then it's going to be so much better, like 9 times out of 10, to be showing face in that way. So with you, definitely a personal brand would crush it. It would do so much better. You don't have to do all videos. It can be photos. It can be carousels. A lot of people crush it in the stories and they barely post in their feed.
Yeah.
Like my personal account, which I'm thinking about switching into a personal brand account, which I have such a hard time wanting to do because my personal is so aesthetic on like the travel, and like I
Yeah.
spent a lot of years going for this direction. I forgot where I was going with that.
With the personal brand, you've been deciding if
Oh.
you want to do it.
Yes. So, so with that, like my stories, so I barely post in the feed. My stories on average get anywhere between 300 to 400 views.
Oh, wow.
On my business account, I get like anywhere between 30 to 100 views.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
if you're utilizing your stories on your personal brand to promote your businesses and more people are seeing that, then you don't necessarily need to be posting in the feed all about your businesses. You show like a day in the life of you. You can show like different networking events you go to. You can show different people you connect with in networking groups. You can, you know, your podcast. You can showcase your kids if you want to showcase your kids. Some people have this really funny video that I'm thinking about replicating of their dogs, where it's like the dog just like looking at the camera, and it's like, somebody please buy my mom's service or product because she needs to
so
buy me
cute.
more treats, you know? Like
That's so cute. I
there's
love that. Yeah.
so many, and that, like, so many people are dog people,
Yeah.
you know, like you can utilize that where it doesn't even have to be super complicated.
One question I've got that you made me think is like, I have had Instagram since, I'm about to age myself right now, since it came out. Probably, when was that? We were like
12,
18.
11, 2012, 2011,
Were we like 18, 19?
when Instagram came out.
Yeah.
I think it was a little bit like
Around
Facebook
there.
really like made it like when we were 2005, 2006.
Yeah. Anyway, I've had it since it started. And like, I went back, God, it's been, how long is it? Almost 20
Don't do
years.
that to yourself.
Holy shit.
Don't do that to yourself.
Like 17 years probably. And I haven't always been consistent. Like if you look through, like it ebbs and it flows. And I've gone back and forth because I'm like, the people on there are like people that I've known for a very long time that probably don't see me in the same light as our clients. And I don't know, like it's just a different, like there's high school stuff in there. There's just a mixture of everything. For wanting to build a personal brand that's in line with everything that we've got going on. And as business owners, I'm sure there's lots of business owners that are in this case where like, I have an Instagram, but I've always just literally used it for personal use. Do I start over and
No.
build a brand new account? How do I attract people to this account when the engagement hasn't always been great? Like I think I have 530 followers. My engagement is not the best. How do you turn something like that into a personal brand that can actually take off?
So the first thing is just ripping the Band-Aid off and doing it.
That was my advice.
Yeah, because like
For the record.
the more and more you complicate it, like worrying about, you know, the people
Who's
that you've
on there.
known forever,
Yeah.
like if they're gonna like it, well, who cares?
Yeah, they're
they're
not gonna be-
probably
yeah.
not the ones who are paying your bills or hanging out with you on a day-to-day basis,
Yeah.
or even supporting you. They're just kind of following. So
Lurkers.
those people are going to unfollow regardless. So
Yeah.
but what you will be doing is gaining in such a different way.
Yeah.
You're showcasing you, and you're gaining in that sense. The people who don't care enough, let them unfollow you. It doesn't really, it's not going to affect you one way or another because they're
That's
not
so true.
affecting you right now. So,
It's a good reframe.
but I get it though. Like with my personal account, there were a lot of people I went to college with, and it's great because you never know who in your following knows somebody who needs your help. And so there's this, I want to say it's an Alex Hermosi method of lead gen, is using your personal account, and so you never know. So these people who you're worried about them not liking your content or them just whatever, don't even worry about that. Focus on who's to come, because that's going to be a longer benefit for you anyways. It depends though. So like if you, it's more of a personal preference. And I tell a lot of my clients this too, is because I sometimes will collaborate their business posts with their personal page. It depends on how private you want to be. So personally, like my personal account is public. Everybody can look
Yeah.
at it. I've had people steal my photos. I don't care. I've set it up that way.
Right.
if you want this private life where it is very, very like, you know, close knit, then create a whole new page. It's just more of a personal preference on that sense.
Yeah. Because like I was going through somebody that I think I talked to at one point, they were like, delete like old relationship photos and things like that. And I'm like, that is like 10 years of my life. I really need to go through that and like clean that kind of stuff up if I'm going to turn it into a personal brand, like professional personal brand.
I can see the
I did delete some, but I didn't go like, I don't think I went all the way back.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, this is a lot. Like, it's a lot of stuff to go through.
I mean, so you can now do like mass deletion, which makes life 10 times easier. I had to do that for a networking account that I manage. And it's a ton of old photos that people are no longer even in that group. So I went and mass deleted it. But I would almost say that's also personal, like a personal decision as well. So let's say you gain 3,000 followers tomorrow. Like a video goes viral. Do you want them seeing those 10-year-old, like 10, 20, whatever, however many years old photos that probably look like the Y2K looking, you know, do you want those people seeing that?
No, it's so true.
Like, I mean, all of the filters we used to
Y2K
use, you know.
25 years ago. I mean, on Facebook, close.
It's so true. Like those freaking, like taking a picture of your outfit and then collaging it, and it's like you 3 times. Like just, oh, it's so cringy. I did delete some of that stuff because I was like, just
oh
in
yeah,
case.
my Facebook is full of it, and I just like. But yeah, so it's really up to if you want people to see that, because they will. I mean, people are nosy. Dig and go all the way through. If you are using your personal brand for a more professional presence, then delete it all. Okay. If you're using it just to connect with people and then using that audience as a way to push towards your businesses, you may not have to delete it, because that's your background. Yeah, people like that. It depends on what kind of audiences you're wanting to push over to your businesses. Are you wanting your businesses to be really professional and reputable? Then your personal brand should probably be very professional, reputable.
I feel like I came in and stole this from you, so I'm gonna kick it back to you right now.
No, it's so good, and I think like to kind of wrap it up and summarize it almost, and it came back. It always, a lot of these things come back to just like figure out
what is your goal.
What is the goal? Yeah. What makes you unique? Mm-hmm. What is the strategy that you're using this lever for? Because again, some people just like, somebody told me I need to start doing content, so I'm going to start doing content, and then they start doing content and they don't get any traction, and they're like, I don't know why. You're not talking to the right people. You're not leveraging your strengths. You're looking at the wrong accounts to emulate the type of content that you're developing. Figure out how you're going to add this additional lever, and that's all it is. That's all content is. It's an additional lever to the whole. How are you going to leverage that in a way that's going to push your business? And if it's a personal thing, then that's different. But if you're doing it to grow your business and get more business, get sales and that type of stuff, and draw more leads in, you have to take all aspects into consideration first. Not just, let's just post content because I saw these people do it.
Yep.
Or I'm just going to post this content because it looks clean, and then not do anything with it. It's an omni-channel approach. It's not a quick fix. And you have to figure out what's the strategy, what's going to make me successful, what makes me stand out to these other options, to competitors, to these other accounts that people could be swiping on, and picking them instead of me. What's going to help me stand out? How can I differentiate? And then jump into it.
Yep. And to kind of go off of that too, there was a time 2 years ago where every single social media manager was like, don't post without a strategy, but nobody knew what that meant. And so I feel like this episode just broke that down completely. Like, what does that even mean? Because there's a lot of people who don't even know how to put a strategy together. And that was me. Like my first year, I was like, okay, I know what to do, but I don't know, what do I need to put that like into a presentation? Yeah. Like how do I even structure that? And so you learn along the way, but yeah, definitely. I mean, every little thing that you do in your account matters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they thought that a social media strategy was just like a posting schedule, and that was
or a content
or what hashtag should I use, or whatever it is. That like that's not it. It's a piece to the whole. You can't understand the piece without understanding the whole.
Yep.
So don't be lazy and don't just jump into things. Hire Josie over here to help out. That's one thing that makes you stand out, and then why we're excited to partner with you on this is because you understand how the whole works. We know how to create the picture of the whole, and then you're very, very good at that specific piece, and then how it kind of fits in. So, anyways, go give her a follow. Where can everybody find you?
So my Instagram is Cobalt Media Marketing, and then I kind of soft launched my podcast called The Viral Spiral.
Amazing.
The Viral Spiral.
super
I love
exciting.
that. I could say that all day.
Yeah, I love that.
Amazing.
Thank you.
I was about to plug our Summit Success webinar because that goes very much in tandem with come figure out the whole, learn your business, or not learn your business, but like figure out your business, dial in on what you actually need if social media is the move.
Well, some people need to learn their business. They don't.
That's fair.
They get stuck in the weeds for a long time, and then they rarely come up and kind of look at things from that 30,000 foot view. And they're like, I don't know. We talked about it. Some people don't know why they're successful, why certain clients are picking them, where they need to allocate resources next to continue to be successful and be prepared for ebbs and flows, whether it's virality, which things are almost vanity, short-term success, and then being prepared for when they're not. Because again, we've especially recently, there's lots of things that happen that people just aren't prepared for. So it's understanding those things. So I'll plug it. Yeah, we got a 90-minute webinar. 3 hours. This one's 3 hours. It's a 3-hour webinar. It's not the type of webinar where you're going to come in, we're just going to like tease things, and it's like, pitch to the next thing. You have to spend. If you want to really get the results, you got to buy this next thing. We're going to lay it all out, how you can create the framework for your business in order to succeed and move forward. That's through how can you stand out in your market, where you should be allocating resources, and stop wasting time and money on the wrong things. So you can sign up. We'll get all those links below. Follow Josie. You're probably going to be seeing more of her. She's going to be our content liaison, probably.
Ooh, I like that.
Right. Add that
This
to
is
to your job description. But any last words before we get out of here?
No, thanks so much. I appreciate the advice and the feedback. I think a lot of business owners can take a lot away with it. I guarantee I'm not the only one who feels this way or is like, how do I make all of the things make sense in a personal brand? And do you need one or do you not? So thank you for that information and for that little inspo around what I can do to kind of ease myself into it, because your girl has got to do it. And I just keep putting it off every which way I can, aside from the podcast. So
I can't be the one to tell her anymore.
No.
It's not how that works, which is totally fine.
Spend 3 hours or put together 10 videos you want to shoot. Spend 3 hours shooting those videos, and then now it's done.
Yeah.
And that's for an entire month,
And that's all of your homework.
Yeah.
10 videos, spend 3 hours doing it, and just start. Thank you for being here, everybody. And until next time, keep chasing your next summit. Look at that, right at 11.
Holy
That's a
shit,
wrap.
that's a first.
Let's go.
Here we go.
Podcast. I'm here with the
Money, making crap for money.